There are many things that no one tells you about parenting, especially when it comes to teens and young adults. More often than I'm willing to admit, talking to teenagers, even my own, can leave me feeling like either the awkward, geeky new girl in school or like I'm talking to a brick wall. This can make conversations less than inviting, but now, when lessons we learned in school are no longer being taught, there are so many more conversations we must have with our kids. Rather than be frustrated or feel like I'm not preparing my kids for life, I looked for new ways to approach these conversations. And I stumbled upon a little secret that actually worked. Suddenly, I talked and they listened. They talked and I got to listen. Now we are going to talk and I'm going to spill the tea. Welcome to the Cook Who Can't Eat podcast, where chronic illness and family meet at home and in the kitchen. Hello, my friend. I'm so glad that you're here. What happened to home ec? Where did it go? This used to be a mandatory part of our education and the curriculum. That's where students learned life skills from cooking and sewing to budgeting, home maintenance, and somewhere along the way, it's just kind of disappeared. Originally, it was added for female students, but as our world became more industrialized and women started entering the workforce, educators realized that all students needed more than just ABC 1, 2, 3s, and the female students needed more than just lessons in ironing. They all needed practical life and professional skills. While these may sound like simple concepts, they're important skills for students and people to learn. It's the foundation for building an independent and successful future. These are also concepts and lessons that aren't usually learned in just everyday life. As the world rapidly evolved, our education system shifted to focus on subjects like computer science and STEM fields because standardized testing took center stage. School funding and support became dependent on test scores and sometimes athletics rather than the cost to develop well-rounded and balanced curriculums. Home ec lesson plans tried to keep up over the years by replacing some of the more domestically focused lessons with skills assessments, typing, resume writing, and the importance of work-life balance. For example, when my grandmother was in school, the lessons were on child rearing, domestic skills, the woman's role in a marriage and a home, and etiquette. Fast forward to when my mom was in school, home ec still included domestic skills and etiquette, but they began adding topics like home maintenance, how to run a household budget, typing skills, and even what to do in emergencies. By the time I made it to a home ec class, the focus was skills assessment, typing, work etiquette, interviewing skills, even resume writing. As more and more resources were stripped away from our education systems, rather than focus on what was best for our students, intense pressure was put on schools and teachers to focus on those standardized test scores. Courses like home ec, art, music, even physical education disappeared, allowing a funnel vision approach to teaching where standardized testing achievement and college preparation were the only measurables that really mattered anymore. Essentially, we've been creating generations that lack basic, even essential life skills. This isn't just a theory, it's happening and we see it. Throughout college, my daughter has had to teach people how to do laundry, how to cook. She even had to teach someone how to run a vacuum cleaner. Like most things, home ec didn't disappear overnight. If you look at the world today, I think it's fair to say that we need to find a balance between embracing technological advancements while recognizing the value of practical and life skills knowledge. Not to mention the impact that the absence of these skills is having, not just on individuals or families, but on communities and our society as a whole. What made home ec so effective was its ability to combine various school subjects or lessons, such as science or math, combine it with a life skill, and show students the practical applications. It answered that never ending student question of why do I have to learn this? They were actually seeing the interconnectedness of the different lessons, and they could understand that this knowledge can be applied in real life contexts. Reading and writing is important, but if you can't write a letter, a resume, or even address an envelope, where's the real life application? Teens were in their class because, well, they didn't have any other choice. Now, those lessons at school are mostly gone, and teens are teens. Every teen that I've ever met or have ever heard of goes through that stage or the temporary personality change where they realize that they know everything and they have no idea how we have managed to survive this long since we obviously know nothing at all and we don't get it. Fun times. Mhm. Let's be honest, the education system isn't going to be resurrecting home ec anytime soon. So there have to be other ways and other options for kids to start learning this valuable information. We can give our kids life skills or bucket lists to learn on their own. I've seen families make various skills part of a teen's chores, and I've seen some families just ignore it completely. Like I said before, my daughter has had to teach some very interesting basic life skills. We've tried variations of all of these, and honestly, for the most part, they were a bust. Rambling on or trying to explain a life lesson just wasn't working. These kids have so much information and so many like random shiny pennies coming at them that they are distracted all the time. It's not always easy to talk to them or connect with them because you have to break through all that noise. We found our best luck with, I guess we can call them home ec moments. Basically, the skill takes a back seat and we teach them a trick or some way to do something that'll make their life easier. Here's a hint: every teen in the entire world wants things to be easier. So give them what they want. In reality, we're just showing them a life skill, but by disguising it as something shiny, we can break through the noise. But there is a big catch to this, though, and this is the most important part. You have to wait for these home ec moments when it comes up naturally as part of the day or a conversation. If you force it, forget it. Not going to happen. For example, my daughter used to love fettuccine alfredo, but hated leftovers because it was never the same reheated. One day she was looking for something to eat, and I knew we had some leftover in the fridge. So I said, "Hey, do you want me to show you how you can reheat that so it tastes just as good as it did when it was first made?" She didn't really believe me and said, "Okay, yeah, sure, show me." I did. She loved it. All of a sudden, she was asking me how to reheat all sorts of things, which led to her learning a variety of cooking skills. Now, not only does she eat her leftovers, when she's deciding what she wants to eat, her instinct is not a drive through or food delivery. It's coming home to cook something that she knows she's going to like and she knows is going to be exactly what she wants. She was able to learn that home ec lesson without feeling like she was learning a lesson. As we started doing this, the eye rolling stopped, or at least it slowed down. They listened. We found that they were asking more questions and they were learning way more than just the one skill. The best part was is they were usually sharing it with their friends, and then those friends wanted to know more too. This is literally the definition of a win-win. My family always joked that I can't die because we don't have food in our house. We only have ingredients and cooking tools. Recipes and cooking skills used to be passed down through generations by helping in the kitchen, but many teens don't want to help in the kitchen, but will gladly offer to order DoorDash. Home ec was great because it taught kids these basic cooking skills, whether they wanted to learn them or not. Another great example, right now, customizing thrifted items has become so popular. Teens are eager to learn how to sew or do basic clothing repair in order to make unique and one-of-a-kind clothing that represents their style and their personality. That's great, but what makes this better is the skills they're learning, they will actually know how to fix their favorite clothes instead of throw them out or even make their own clothing. Personal finances in many households is a taboo subject. Having those lessons taught in home ec was convenient, but now, without that knowledge, people are struggling with debt, overspending, and understanding what financial stability means. I've heard some parents compare this conversation and the level of discomfort they have with this conversation to the talk. There are ways to teach this without having to show them your personal information. And trust me, they don't want to see it. They don't want to see how you do all this. My favorite and most successful home ec moment for financial education was when I started showing them how to find what they want or what they need at the best possible price. Teaching them to bargain hunt has led to just natural discussions on budget, taxes, discounts, even ways to identify scams or fake products and what to do when they come across them. It has been a fabulous way for them to learn huge financial lessons, and never did I have to sit in front of a computer or a banker and show them everything that I personally do. A big unintended consequence of losing home ec has been the loss of exposure to career opportunities for students in trade professions, resulting in a shortage of skilled workers in industries like plumbing, HVAC, textiles, even home maintenance and repair. Home ec included lessons on emergency preparedness, survival skills, basic first aid, essential employability skills, how to cope with stress, practice self-care, maintain overall physical, mental, and emotional well-being. None of these are things that are learned in just everyday life, but if you're watching and you're looking for a home ec moment, they can be something that they end up learning during everyday life. The disappearance of this course has influenced everything from household management, personal well-being, even career choices. Our job as parents to raise kids that can be fully functioning adults, and they need these lessons in order to achieve that. There are so many ways to show kids how to make life a little easier. And without them knowing it, you will be teaching them valuable and necessary life skills. There is a renewed focus on practical knowledge and life skills in pop culture right now. Let's take advantage of this shift. I'm going to start sharing some home ec moment videos to show you things that we've done or to give you some ideas. Thank you for being here, my friend. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this. Take care of yourself, and I will see you next week. Next week, we're going to start a series that every parent needs to hear. We have all heard of the talk. Together, we've discussed the important talk before the talk. But there's another conversation that we must have with our kids. It's the legal talk. This is new to most of us, but it's more important than ever before. In fact, in some cases, it may be more important than the talk. Join me on socials for our home ec moment videos and podcast sneak peeks. Then subscribe here so you know as soon as the next episode is available. In the meantime, take care of yourself, my friend. I'll see you next week. Accessibility matters, so every podcast episode is available on your favorite platform and as a video with captions on YouTube.